This is going to be a introduction to free will to accompany the Ney chapter on free will. This is a really well-written chapter. Let's just take it from the top. Why do philosophers care about this question of free will? And it's very straightforward. Okay, are we free to make the choices we make? And if not, does that mean we can be held accountable for our actions? So if you deny that free will exists, does it make sense to punish people for actions that are bad? Does it make sense to praise people for actions that we consider to be good? Does the law make sense, for instance? Does imprisoning people for their choices make sense if there's no free will? On a theological perspective, if you don't have free will, then salvation stories don't make a lot of sense because it's not you making those choices. Ney points out that there's two kind of ways that you can come and question whether or not we have free will. And I think most people's intuition is that we do have free will, and a lot of people would agree with that. So in one way, you can say that there's an issue with free will. She says, it's got to do with God and God having omniscient, omnipotent ability to see everything that is, or know everything that is going to happen, everything that did happen. So there only seems to be one possible future. Only one way things could go. And if that's the case, then there's a little bit of predestination. So this is kind of what the Calvinist school of thought thinks. She ignores this sort of discussion. We can talk more about this one if you want, but looking at the second way that this chapter is about, it has to do with this issue of whether or not determinism is a threat to free will. So whether or not determinism and freedom can coexist. And we've already encountered free will to some extent. In Descartes, he says that free will is the ability to choose. In our case, we're going to talk about what does it mean to be free. So what does freedom mean? Because the concept of free and freedom is very important for this discussion. Obviously, most philosophers are going to say it requires control, the ability to do otherwise. Whatever those things mean is going to depend on the view, but the control means that you actually get to make the choice. Right? You choose to have cereal for breakfast, you're in control. And the ability to do otherwise, it means a lot of different things, but I think very straightforwardly, you could have chose cereal or you could have chose oatmeal. Those are both live options, and if that's the case, then you had the ability to do otherwise. So another way to think about it is this is you, right? You're on a particular continuum, timeline, world, and there's a possible world where you go to, Texas. There's a possible world where you go to OU. And if you think that you can control that decision, that you actually make the choice you want to make, then you have control. And if it's actually the case that you could have gone to a different school than the one that you're at now, then you had the ability to do otherwise, right? So you had two possible worlds available to you. In the actual world, right, you ended up at OU. If you believe in free will, that's the choice you made. There's also a distinction between surface and ultimate freedom. This is from Robert Kane. Surface freedom is the ability to act towards your desires in an unconstrained way. And ultimate freedom is that you're the source of those desires. So there's a distinction to be made between first and higher order distinctions. Okay? Desires. So first order desire is the desire you currently have, and the higher order desire is a desire you have about your first order desire. So let's say that you're trying to get fit, right? You're trying to gain muscle. So you shouldn't have the donut that people are offering you in the Union. So you work out really hard, you go to the Union, you're going to grab a protein shake, and somebody's offering a donut. So your first order desire may be to take that donut. But then you have a higher order desire where maybe you don't want to take that donut. Okay? And what you want is to not want that donut. So your desire about your desire is that you have a different desire. Sometimes your desires, your first and your higher order desires align. Like you desire to get a good education, and you're happy that you have that desire. So they can align. One reason this may matter is on this control issue. Okay? So your dog has desires. Your dog wants, your horse has desires. If you have dogs, horses, any sort of animal you encounter, they're going to have desires to eat, to sleep, to drink water. Some animals require attention and affection and so forth, so they desire those things. And you are also an animal, and you desire quite literally the same things as your dog, as your horse, as the shrimp you may be taking care of right now. Food, water, rest, right? Those are all first order desires. So on the first order level, you are no different than any other animal. However, you can have these higher order desires. All right, maybe what you want to do is party hard. Okay, but you want to have a different desire. Like in addition to, partying hard, does that align with your values, what you want out of life? So then you get to make decisions about what you actually act on and what you actually desire. And if that's the case, okay, then you're talking about ultimate freedom. Surface freedom, that seems pretty cheap and easy to get. All right, I want to do meth. All right, libertarian paradise, I can do meth. First order desire satisfied. Maybe I don't want to do meth. And if that's the case, okay, well then I have an ultimate freedom.